been not early, but it's been a busy morning. I am making Cameron breakfast, kind of in a hurry. He's skipping school today because there's a Fortnite competition. That's not right. There's a Fortnite event. I guess that's what you call it. So William skipped school today because it's important to him, and I feel it's more important to encourage their goals, because it's important for them to have goals. Because if they have goals and they feel motivated, and then feel motivated to do other things. And, just like if it was like a hockey tournament. Like, I know a lot of parents, the kids miss school to go to a hockey tournament. For me, I feel like the same thing. Right? If you're going to go to your kids' sports events, why not go to their other things that completely interest them and motivate them? And yeah. So I'm going to bring up his coffee, get him ready. Then I thought we'd have a little chat about our plans for the summer and things like that. So got your bagels, and I'm going to bring up your coffee. Did you clean your glasses and all that?
No. And tweet this.
Mm-hmm.
Tweet this.
Yes, tweet that. Wait, stop. Live stream Fortnite event today, right? Event.
Why can you...
You can write it.
No spot. At school again. Fortnite event.
Yeah.
Why are you like taping this?
Mm-hmm.
You're taping this? Why?
Mm-hmm. You got coffee on your table. Where's your eyeglass thing? Where's your things cleaning your eyeglasses? There we go.
Like that?
Yeah.
You're the Facebook. There's good no spraying the food. What are you doing?
It's not your food. Starting his live, he's got his breakfast, so I'm gonna bring him up his coffee, I guess during his live. There we go. Sarah's awake. So, I guess this is a different Let's Talk video. I finally got Cameron somewhat settled. The coffee machine was not working with me this morning, so I don't know. I'm just gonna have a bottle of water because I'm not awake enough to deal with that. Anyways, I have notes, but I have a few notes of what I wanted to talk to you guys about, but I just, kind of just want to just have like a chit chat. I want to try to make my premieres more like an actual live, because I am live in the chat when I post these Let's Talk videos. And if you ever miss the actual premiere, you can always message me on Instagram if you want to chat or have any questions or anything like that. I love meeting new people on my Instagram. I've met so many people. Yeah, like I was saying, like, Cameron skipped school today, but you know what? He only has like, today's Tuesday. He literally only has 3 more days left of school. So it's kind of like just fun days, pretty much, really. Like all the tests and exams and stuff like that are done already. So we let him. So I let him miss school today, and I think it's important for him to feel like he's part of something. Like he follows his YouTubers that he loves, and one of the ones that really inspire him the most, he has grown a somewhat semi-relationship with him, which is insane because I'm sure this YouTuber literally has like 1 million subscribers. So like, I think it's very special that he does take time to respond to Cameron. He refers to him as the kid. I think that is cute. And yeah, I just think it's good for your kids to have a role model, and especially if they can actually get a message from them, or he has never met this YouTuber in person, but he has online. He plays Fortnite with him, and he kind of crashes into his game, but he's giving Cameron some shoutouts on his channel, which is great. Not like his actual channel, but him as a person. So it motivates him to want to do this, and it gives him something that's his and something he can be proud of. And I think when our kids are feeling good about themselves and they feel like they are good at something, it makes them want to try other things, and like gives them more encouragement. And like, sometimes it's hard to motivate our kids, and I feel like that is one of the biggest keys for my kids, is to really keen on their interest and go with it. Because when they're happy, they're more willing to help around the house. They're more eager to like go to school and do their work, because to them it all makes sense, that it all goes together. Like they know that when they're happy, and like Cameron, he knows like he needs to go to school. He knows the YouTubers he loves have gone to school. He knows they've accomplished a lot. Even if they haven't gone past high school, they still have passed high school, and they still have dreams, and they're still working, and they're still like doing things. So it gives him that inspiration to do things and to want to learn more about what he's interested in. Like, YouTubing is a lot more than just picking up a camera and talking. There's like so much more about it, especially if you're a gamer. If you're a gamer, it's even harder. You might think, he's just recording himself playing video games, but in order to do that, there's a lot of practice. It's hard to concentrate on a game and talk at the same time, especially like the first shooter games like Fortnite, where you really need a lot of hand-eye coordination and a lot of strategic thinking, and a lot of thinking more than just talking to your audience as well. And you have to keep your viewers interested, and he has been able to do all of those things at once, and I think it's just, it's great. So I encourage him as much as I can. Just like I would if he was like in hockey, or Sarah tried out skating. She was skating for Skate Canada, and she loved that. It's just right now she's got all of her, when you first start off with Skate Canada, you need to do Skate Canada in order to skate for the Olympics. So she started off, she did all of everything she needs to do for Skate Canada as her pre-training. But now she needs to pick which category she wants to go into. So she's kind of like stuck right now. And then Corona, they didn't have skating the past winter because of the virus, and it was like really bad here anyways. So I guess she's probably going to start to go back in September skating, if that's what she still wants to do. I think she still wants to go skating. She did injure her ankle skating, so I'm not sure how that's gonna go. Hopefully it won't affect her if she wants to go back into that. But she has to pick like which category she wants to go into. Like she doesn't know if she wants to. She doesn't really like dancing, so she doesn't really want to go into figure skating. But I don't think she wants to go into hockey either. So there's pretty much only like speed skating, which I think she's interested in speed skating. It's just, yeah, I don't know if her ankle injury will support her for speed skating, because you put a lot of your body weight on your ankles for that. And that's something she was working on before she finished her skating, was speed skating and learning how to put her body weight on her ankles. So, we'll look into that in September, but she might need like some physiotherapy, I think. I'm not sure. We have to look into that for her ankle. But her too, she kind of likes YouTubing because she likes to see the viewers, and she likes the attention it brings to her sometimes. But she's very picky. Like she's so picky. Like she's made so many videos, but she won't post them because she doesn't think they're perfect. And I think she wants people to see her a certain way instead of just seeing her as herself. That's something she's struggling with, so we're trying to find her that deep passion that like Cameron has. It's just, she's kind of trying to figure everything out. I think it's one of the downfalls of thinking about her not going to school is that she didn't get to experience more things to kind of figure out where she likes to go. So yeah, I'm hoping September she'll get into school. She's going to go to school in person in September. I think that would be the best choice for her because she's not as social as Cameron. Cameron talks to all of his friends at school. He has like so many friends from school. He has so many friends that he's met online. So at home, Cameron is very sociable. So we're trying to weigh out what is best for him because he did really well homeschooling this year, like remote learning. He did so well. And for his school, that will also be an option in September to continue with the remote learning. So, but he did so well, so I don't know, like, if we should continue with that or not. So, has talked like he has a caseworker who manages pretty much everything for Cameron. So, she thinks maybe he should go to school for at least one class. Like, he likes cooking, and I know that's something he wants to work on besides YouTubing is his cooking skills. For the program that he's in his school, he's actually completed all of the cooking classes that they have. So now he's going to be going into like a regular class for cooking. So it would probably be better if he did that in person, like in school. And he also wants to take computer classes, obviously, to better his YouTubing, so he can learn to like do his own edits and just be more creative with computer stuff. And he's also thinking about drama because, just to manage his voice and just to be more creative in in that area. So those are 3 things that I think he may benefit more doing in school. So we're going to look into like him doing those classes in school, but maybe like just the math and like more of the writing more than the physical stuff, like drama. You physically have to move around and things like that. So that would definitely be much easier for him to do at school, like cooking, he did pretty well by making videos and submitting them to his teacher when he did his cooking class last year, remote learning, or this past school year, remote learning. But to see his actual skill in person, I think would be better. And computers, he is so good at computers, but that too I think would probably be better at school. If he needs any help or whatever, they'd be better. Teacher would be better at helping him with that than me. So, and just to get out of the house, sort of, because we've been home for so long. But yeah. I got totally off topic. I don't know. I wrote a blog about some tips that I've learned raising teenagers. So I just thought I'd go over them with you from my blog. If you actually want to read about anything, you can check out my blog at, of course, Tammy in a Crazy House. That is just a name that my kids came up with for me quite a few years ago. I started my blog about 3 years ago, maybe 4, I don't know. Started writing a blog a while ago, and the kids came up with that name because, I say it's so crazy here because we were so busy and so many things were happening. It's just, Corona kind of made us settle down a bit more than what we were, but I just stuck with the name because everybody kind of knows me as Tammy in a Crazy House now from my blog, so I just stuck with that. Anyways, I just thought, just have a little chit chat about our summer plans and our future goals with the kids. So the blog I'm talking about today is Lessons Learned Raising a Tween. Cameron, I think we had so many issues with Cameron when he was a tween. He was going through so many different med changes and behaviors, and just because we couldn't find a medication that was right for him, and he kept having doctors that would retire. Then we got a doctor again, and then that doctor actually got, I don't know, he's no longer a doctor anymore. Not sure what happened with that, but, we switched doctors so many times that his tween years were, really chaotic, insane. Between dealing with behaviors and trying to find the right medication and trying to figure out if the behaviors were him, or the behaviors were caused by medication, or what was going on. So I feel like those years went by so fast because there was so much going on, and then I also got divorced during that time. So we moved a lot during that time. It was just a whole thing. So I feel like he didn't really have a good steady tween years. You know what I mean? So when Sarah hit her tween years, it was oh my gosh, now I know what parents are talking about when they say the tween years are, somewhat worse than the terrible twos, and I totally agree. I don't know if it's because Cameron was a boy. He did have the same as Sarah, and Sarah is just, I know a lot of it is just because of her age, and she's really sick and tired of being home all the time from being, in lockdowns and stuff from COVID. So, that really brought out a lot of the teen attitude, teen anxiety, and everything in that area. So with that, I wrote a blog. Kind of more or less to remind me than actually tell you guys. It's just, sometimes when you're all caught up in the moment, you just, I don't know, you just don't realize what you're doing or like what's going on because you're just reacting in the moment. So I wrote down some lessons I learned. So lesson 1 is ignorance. And ignorance is not just with tweens. I've learned ignorance from the time Cameron got diagnosed. And, people tell you, oh, you just need to be more strict. You just need to do this. You just need to do that. Well, my kid does this. My kid does that. So you get lost in your parenting sometimes between what everybody's telling you should do and what you need to do. And you kind of lose your motherly instincts because you want to be a good mom or a good parent, if you're a dad or whoever. You want to be the best you can be. So sometimes you try to listen to everybody and you forget to listen to your own parenting instincts. So ignorance is like an important lesson for any parent. You have to listen to your own parenting instincts and not everybody else. And it's hard because like if you parent your kid, like you're the best parent for your child, you can't be the best parent for like somebody else's child, it just doesn't work. Like, I'm not talking about foster parents or anything like that. Like, if you have a foster child or adopted child, you obviously, like, you adapt to that child. So that child becomes, like, yours pretty much. So, I just mean, like, you can't, like, parent the neighbor's child. Like, you just can't. So that's lesson 1 that I learned. Lesson 2 is confidence. You have to be confident in your parenting, like your parenting instincts. It's all about being you have to trust your instincts and be confident enough that you're right. It's like, again, sometimes that's really hard because everybody's telling you things, and I learned that really, really, really early on, and I'm glad I learned that really early on. And I think I owe all of my parenting to this wonderful lady I met about, about 10 years ago, maybe longer. I still talk to her today. She's a lady that when Cameron first got diagnosed, I called her crying and we talked for a long time. And she's been my guide through all of this pretty much. At that time, she already went through everything. She had 2 sons on the spectrum who were older teenagers, and I just had 4-year-old Cameron. And yeah, she's taught me a lot about listening to my own instincts and following his lead and just listening with more than just my ears and seeing with more than just my eyes to know what he needs. So having the confidence to do that, I think, is what got Cameron to where he is now. Like I said, his original diagnosis was nonverbal autism, and now he's extremely verbal. And like parents, sometimes when I'm talking to them and I'm sharing some of my experiences, they're like, well, my son is just so totally out of control. I can't. I'm like, my son was like that too. We've had days where he's been totally out of control. I've had to call the police to help me calm him down. After you're holding your son in your arms for an hour, you need help. I've been there, and even though I've been there, we all learning, and sometimes, your instincts are wrong sometimes, you trust them sometimes they are wrong, sometimes, but I feel a majority of the time when I listen to my own instincts and not like what people tell me I should be doing, they've always worked out better. And yeah, I feel like I have proof of that because Cameron is doing amazing now. Yeah, so lesson number 3 is trust. And like, as much as you need to trust yourself, you need to trust them. And I know that's hard. That is extremely, 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 extremely hard. One of Cameron's major triggers when he was younger was a knife. I don't know why. I don't know where it came from. But a knife has been his trigger since he was about 3 years old. I don't know. Like, nothing's ever happened. Like, he's never got cut by a knife or anything. Like, I don't know. I have no clue what happened, why that became a trigger for him, but it became a trigger. So, any and all sharp objects that resembled a knife had to be kept away from him, like up high, out of reach. And the funny thing is, if the knife is in the sink, he won't touch it. If the knife is in the cupboard where it's supposed to be, he won't touch it. But if it's like left on like at the table or the counter, it becomes a trigger. I don't know why. Because I don't know why. I still don't know why. It's still a trigger today. Not as bad as it was, because he's learned how to cook. So that's what I mean by trust. Like, I had to trust to give him a knife in order for him to cook. Like, he needs to learn to cut vegetables, and he needs to learn to cut his sandwich. Like, sometimes trusting our kids is really, really, really hard because we have those fears because we know what can happen. But sometimes you gotta trust that in the moment it won't happen. And same thing with Cameron. Like, he can have a knife, but I still fear that it will trigger him. So like, the minute he puts down the knife, when he's done cutting vegetables or whatever he's doing, I take it right away and put it in the sink. Because I know if it's in the sink, it's not a trigger for him. I don't know why, but it isn't. It's just something like, you know, like some parents, they don't know what triggers are. They think it's this or that. Sometimes it could be just a simple object and you just don't know why. So trust. And like the same thing with Sarah, like she's younger and I keep reminding myself that I need to trust her more, and I want to trust her more. It's just when she was younger, her response to anxiety or any pressure was to flee. You know, Cameron's reaction is to fight, Sarah's is to flee. So, you know, she's run away so many times, like never far, like she's never been lost or anything, but it's always like every time she goes outside, I worry she'll run away. So it's that trust thing is hard. She hasn't done that in like a long time. But when she was younger, yeah. If you guys have any kids who run, you know what I'm talking about, you know. It is so hard, and all you want to do is like hold their hand and keep them safe. But yeah, trusting is hard, and like for the fleeing part, it took a lot of trust, because when I stopped chasing her is when she stopped running. And I know that probably doesn't work for everybody, especially if, yeah, the trust is hard, and I know that probably doesn't work for every child. But for Sarah, when I stopped running, yeah, she still ran, but I trusted myself that she would come back on her own, and she did. So even now when she's feeling upset, she will go. But it's not so much running away anymore, it's just she needs a walk to cool herself off, and then she'll come back. But, you know, it's all that, you know, it's that trust. That trust is hard, and your kids need it so badly. And just like, for internet, I know some parents are so scared that their kids will find something they shouldn't. And just like for Sarah, I trusted her to have, I didn't want her to have her own Instagram account or Facebook. I was worried about that. You know, you hear all these crazy stories, you know. So I let her have it, and she's been pretty good with it. There's only been one incident with Instagram, and like I told her, if there was anything like that before, to come and tell me. So as soon as this incident happened, she came and told me, and we talked about it, and it was dealt with, and it hasn't happened since. But yeah, even like on the internet, you know, they might Google things, they might find things, but I found if we talk about it and we don't say, oh no, you shouldn't have been on that site, like what are you doing? That kind of doesn't go well. I don't know, my experience anyways. So we kind of sit and talk about it. You know, Cameron's wandered off into some sites. Now that he's almost 17, you know. But they are blocked. They are blocked. Just sometimes you can still get into them because, you know, he's good with technology. But he's learned that they are not appropriate, and there's not really much to see anyways. Like, I don't know. So you just gotta have that trust that they can deal with it even if they do see it, and if they have that good conversation with it, then they know like it's not appropriate for them, and that they can talk to you about it. And you know, and lesson number 4 is respect. And if I've learned, I've learned that if you want respect, you have to get respect. Like, you know, like, if you want respect, you have to give respect. So what I'm trying to say is that, you know, respect isn't given, it's earned. So in order for your kids to respect you, you also need to respect them and respect their privacy, and yeah, just listen to what they say. Like, I don't go around, you know, checking their messages or anything like that. I respect them, and I respect their triggers. That's another thing. Like, some parents are like, I don't know why my kid keeps doing this, but, you know, sometimes you can teach coping skills for some triggers, but some other triggers you need to just respect them, you know? Like, Sarah's, one of her biggest triggers is not knowing what's going on. She always needs to know what's going on. So, like, you can't keep anything from her, because then that will just be a trigger and set her off. Even if it has nothing to do with her, and if she suspects that something's going on, she just needs to know, and, you know, you just gotta respect that she just needs to know. And the last one is patience. And patience is so hard. I don't know why. I feel like I had more patience for Cameron than I do with Sarah sometimes. And I don't know why. Like, I don't know where it comes from. I have no idea why. Like, a lot of people, like, I don't know why. Like, you know, I love them both the same, and I don't know if it's because Sarah's a little girl, I just want to protect her, and I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know. Do you feel like if you have that with your kids? Like, do you feel like you have a little bit more patience for one child over the other? I really don't know why. Like, I'm working on that myself, and I realize that it's a thing, and yeah. So reminding myself, you know, to have patience. And what I've learned with the kids is that if you ask them once, repeating yourself isn't going to help. So you ask them once and then you wait. And I feel like the waiting is hard because sometimes I'm anxious to do something. But I know if I say it too many times, it will cause an explosion. So just having the patience to wait it out. They will do it. You know, sometimes they will do it the next day, but they will do it. And this goes back to having trust. You know, you need to trust that they will do it. Trust that they will hear you. Like sometimes, you know, they are preoccupied and don't hear you. So you can just, you know, remind them or have a conversation about what was done. Like, you know, like sometimes they started looking out for a key and, you know, she's busy doing something and, you know, waiting it out. Sometimes it's just easier to just put Lucky out, and once she knows that he's out there, she will generally take over and go out with him. And sometimes it's just giving that physical cue, or yeah, I find that having the patience to wait it out has helped a lot. So yeah, those are my 5 lessons for, like I said, I wrote it out for raising a tween, but to think about it, I've used them. I'm still using them with Cameron, even though he's almost 17. And I find they help out a lot more than, like, trying to discipline your child or take things away. And I've tried the whole taking away things, and that just triggers more issues for us. So yeah, staying calm and talking about it goes a lot farther. It was hard. Like, it was a hard transition from trying to do that, but we did it and it's been working. So so I hope you guys had a good night, and I hope you guys have a good summer. And if you have any questions, don't forget you can ask me on Instagram. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye!